Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode featuring forehead. We are fixing a whole bunch of stuff as usual. We're always breaking stuff. I'm going over the trailer, checking wiring and that, because we went, well, Jaden went when boy Bailey fried the tail shaft. Before, in the other video you saw where someone did a mad skid and someone blew the crapper out of their drive shafts. That's why it was stuffed. Anyway, when he was telling him to pick him up, the winch sounded like it was struggling, so I'm going to go over the wiring harness on here, make sure it's all good. We've already checked over the nav ski that has the Anderson plug, so basically we've got our power supply here, which plugged into the back of the nav to run this King's winch. This came with the trailer, like when he got it built. Yeah, it's no worn winch, but it does the trick. So we're going to go over that, make sure all the wiring's all good, nothing's corroded. And yeah, we'll go from there.
We'll do a vid soon on repainting this.
Yes, we need to repaint it from all the...
It doesn't look like a 9-month-old trailer.
It's a bit rough.
Like a 20-year-old trailer.
We might even get that...
Raptor stuff?
That Raptor, whatever you call it. Tub liner, that good stuff. So if you know a company that can do that, drop it in the comments. South Brisbane would be ideal because we don't want to be travelling all over Australia to get the trailer done. If not, someone that can supply the paint, and we shall do it ourselves and film that shit. We're also fixing the Boosty Boy again. Without Connor's car, I don't think we'd have any content for this channel, so we'll go over that a bit sooner. And also we're chucking some rims back on that.
Scans cars break. They don't break.
Well, it doesn't break, it doesn't leave the garage. Exactly. Anyway, so I'll get into that, and then we'll sort of go from there. Oh yeah. I reckon we chuck these in the back of the BF tonight and see how much smoke we can make with them.
You reckon?
Thoughts on that? Because your semis don't seem to make much smoke, man. I think
it doesn't hold it. It gets hot. They're 17s by the way, not 18s.
Oh, they're useless for me then.
No, they won't. They fit.
Well, I reckon they'll fit on the back of it.
Yeah. Plus you got more sidewall then, and plus you put a bigger tire on it.
Some big Mickey Thompsons, mate.
Dude, there's FGs rolling around with the rims that I've got, and they're 17s.
So, these are, me and Connor have gone half skis in a set of rims. FG rims. Delicious. I don't know what Connor's using his for, but I'm going to chuck some radials on these so that when I go to the drag strip, I can send it a bit harder. These will just be play rims. So, yeah, good fun. We might do some plastic dip, do some painting, rim painting. So, yeah, this is a tremendous success. So, genuine too. Yeah. You know, people love genuine rims.
They're off the FG Mark 1, so 2008, 2009.
And 17s, they got not the best tread, but we don't care. They're literally going to get good years.
Smoky boys.
So we might test them out tonight, maybe. Don't know. If we're lucky. Exciting.
Files are in, big boy.
Did we go for a skid?
And fries are quite small.
So as you see from our last vid, the clutch was a bit cooked. It's holding up for now. For now it's holding up, but it's not happy. But I think a quick skid might help it.
Help it, you reckon?
I swear like half of our channel is us now changing rims and fixing your broken car. Yeah, not the prettiest, but at least we know that they fit. Happy days. Sweet. Next job. Okay, boys, so a future video, which is happening very shortly. I don't know if you can see that. That top bush there, my diff bush, is absolutely destroyed. So in a future vid, which will hopefully be happening rather soon, we're going to pull that apart, replace both the diff bushes. We're going to drop the whole K-frame, well, you know, the rear frame out of the car to get that done, which is going to be fun. Look forward to that. And then once that's done, hopefully some big boy stuff can happen, which is going to be good fun. Good fun. Oh dear. Okay, I've checked over all our wires here. There's no corrosion on any of them. We need to get the nav hooked up, but somebody forgot his car keys, his trailer keys, so all that shit. So our boy Jaden's running off to get some keys for all that shit. This might be a part of an issue here, but this was all when he first got it, he tilted it up and this particular wire wasn't long enough. So we'll have a geezer here. It shouldn't really be an issue. I did have one of these Dominator ones on my Patrol, which if you're an OG, you know all about the Patrol. If not, go back and watch those videos. They were brilliant. It was a fat rig. There is a common thing with these Dominator winches that the gearbox actually gets water or something in it and all the gears clog up. I personally didn't have that happen on my winch because I didn't really bog it too much, but being how this one sits underneath the car, it'd probably be getting bogged with water. So if all the wiring's all good, we might have to pull the gearbox out and check over the planetary gears and all that inside here. Or this end, I honestly have not pulled apart one of these before, but I have pulled apart winches for work, so we'll have to give that a geeze. Not really what we want to be doing because it's going to be pretty filthy, and we have to then, you know, unbolt this bloody thing. But you got to do what you got to do. Can't have a winch, you know, a trailer with a car winch that doesn't bloody work. All the other wiring looks pretty Mickey Mouse, so that's good. We did originally have a few issues with wiring to the trailer, but we've sorted that out too. So I'm just going to pull all this apart, check all that. Should be sweet. We're also waiting for Colin to get back so we can pull this box out and check all of the wiring circuitry inside this. Plus the winch controller is in the box and Jaden's got the key for that, so that's not the best, but anyway. Yes. Wireless action, brother. Now, unfortunately, we don't have a multimeter because we didn't realise that we were doing this today. So we can't check the voltage drop. It sounds like it's doing all right. It's a bit noisy. All right, you hanging on? It really shouldn't be struggling that much with you pulling off it.
I know. It's not struggling.
Well, it's making a hell of a noise. Oh, two boys versus one winch. Give it a yeet. Yeah, see, that should be...
It shouldn't even be struggling.
Yeah, they should be slingshotting them. That thing isn't happy. So, like I said before, it's not good.
It's Kings, that's why.
It's Kings. Don't talk about Kings like that. You'll get in trouble by all the four-wheel drive boys.
Four-wheel drive action run these and they have no problems with them.
Yeah, maybe they get a new one every episode.
Maybe it's the gearing inside.
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying before, is that the gearboxes can sometimes get water in them. But then...
So, you want to unbolt it for me? And I'll service it at work?
Oh, we're going to have to pull... Alright, looks like we're pulling a winch off. Remember, boys, when you're bloody rewinding your winch, keep tension on the winch. Don't let it go all slacky. Slacky, that's the word. Otherwise, you'll get the spool all munted. And you don't want that, because then you'll have all sorts of issues when you're unspooling it to do your thing, man. So I'll sort all that out, and then we'll be on to pulling that apart. I think Jaden's going to pull it all apart at work. Or do we have grease? We can do it here.
I don't have any grease here.
What about the tube, mate? What about the tube? Ah. Grease in the cupboard? Yep, so we'll pull it apart. That can be today's video, pulling apart the winch. This will probably be a Friday vid because our normal Wednesday vid is going to be resealing Boostie's tabber cover. Good stuff. So obviously to get your hook through, you've got to undo it. Just a split pin. This pin pulls through. There's your hook. I've actually seen one of these go through a dude's leg. Not in person, in a video. And I think there was another one where it like went through the guy's head on another video. Don't use a bloody winch like a snatch strap, and always use the proper recovery points, otherwise that's how you kill people. Not to be a downer on the mood, but yeah, that's how people die, is when you're when you're not using the right equipment. Yeah, it's not pretty. Anyway, now we've got to get under there and undo our winch. It's going to be good fun. So a good way to remember, obviously, when you pull your winch off, you're going to have all your different colours on here. Take a photo of it, that way you remember. I already know what I'm doing, but if you don't know what you're doing, to do with any wiring, even when you're pulling apart anything, take photos, because photos are good. Photos are the goods. So we're going to disconnect our wires. If this is in a four-wheel drive or already in a car, make sure you've disconnected your battery. If not, make sure you're careful, because if you're positive and negative touch, you're going to have issues. So let's get into it. Let's do a quick time lapse, eh? Okay, here it is, all out. Happy days. I actually have forgotten what side has the gearbox in it, so I look forward to getting roasted in the comments. But anyway, we're going to strip the whole thing apart anyway. Okay, to the workshop. Boom, we're in the workshop like I just said before. We've cleaned off a nice little area. We've got our little rag down. We might try and get some more shit to put down so that we're not losing stuff. We've got this waterproof grease. Yummy. So that'll help out. We'll strip all this down. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure what side has a gearbox. It's been that long since I pulled one of these apart. And it was a gigantic hydraulic winch, not a little tiny one. So this is a learning experience for everyone. How exciting. I might even go get the head cam. I don't know yet. Anyway, here we go. For all you kids at home, the shed is smelling phenomenal. We've got an open E85 tin here, and Boosty's getting some work done, which you probably would have already seen that video. If not, it'll be uploaded next week, or it's already done. I'll tell you, I had some bloke give me a toot in his in a black FG ute. Yeah, I don't know if he saw the channel or if he just likes FGXs. Or he doesn't like me. Either way, if you're watching this vid, hello to you too. That was pretty cool. Pretty cool. Alright, so we've undone these bolts around here, undone all this. This top will come off. To get that top off, you only have to really undo the 3 bolts to hold it in. Make sure you don't lose anything. We've got all our little O-rings for our little bolts and all that. Now we do have a wee bit of grease in here now, but you can see there, that's key goes into this. Don't know if the camera's on it, but there's motors and all the other good stuff that's in here. So I think from the look of it, we undo these and they should pop up, but don't quote me on that because I'm a bit of an idiot. Okay. I'm excited. I much prefer doing this over going to car meets. I hate filming in front of people. Alright, so we put off the wrong side. Brilliant. But at least we can now show you how these work. So this motor in there, I'm actually not the best with electrical motors and all the other stuff. So your powers go into here, energizes these or these. I'm not a freaking electronical engineer, but basically that's what makes it spin. I know in some of them, this looks like it's brushless possibly. It probably is brushless, sorry. But there's ones that have brushes that push against it, like copper bushes and shit. These will actually fill up with dust and all that. I don't think many winches do have bushes in them. But yeah, they can actually fill up with shit. So you can blow them out and they would normally be pretty good. But this looks pretty happy. We need to get a light in there. But do we have a work light, mate? Being that this thing's like a near new winch shouldn't have any issues. Yeah. So at least now we know that we need to pull this side off. And I should have realised that because it's got the clutch. But anyway, we just need to check in here to make sure that's all good. Yeah. Okay, let's get the other side off. Another quick tip. There's a small O-ring that runs around the outside here. And a small locating tab that goes onto this little dongle. I don't know if you can see it, but make sure that does not fall out because that's what we need to line up with this little hole. And this little freaking thing here, we might put a little bit of sealant glue on that just to hold it in place, like a 515 or something like that. Or whatever that shit that we got. We might even use a little bit of grease. Just need something to hold it in place so it doesn't keep rolling back like a... Oh, Jesus. Oh, we went. Okay, so I've flipped it over because I couldn't get it to line up. There's a little locating tab you got to get. See, this bit moves around, so that tab needs to go into there. I had to flip it to get it in easier. So I'll quickly whack these off, chuck these on here, and then we can pull this apart. Because as you can see, this is going to be a bit more in depth. Alright. Okay, so we'll take our little seal off, our happy little seal. We'll chuck this over on our little, we'll actually lay this out properly. So, seal. Now, these look like they just hold this faceplate on here. So we'll need to take that off anyway. So we'll get into that wherever my Allen key set is. 4mm, fantastic. So we'll do a quick time lapse of this because it's going to take forever. Alrighty, so as I was saying before, the reduction. So I'm sure you can find a video on the YouTubes about reductions and how reduction gears work. It's basically just increasing torque by, like gears in a car pretty much. You're just increasing the torque by having lower gear ratios. And so we'll pull all of the reductions out, check them all over. Make sure you pull them out in the right order so you know which way they go, which one it is. This ring will actually come out too. So this inner ring should lift out. Boom. We've got another set of planetaries. And you'll actually notice that this set is slightly smaller than the last set. And then our last set is the smallest one out of all of them. So I've got grease left in my hand, so we'll get maybe someone in a sec. Okay, so yeah, this, look at me, I'm freaking filthy. So it goes into that like so. And then down in here, which you can't really see, but basically that is where that hexagon shaft we're talking about goes into. That sits on the bottom in a little tiny, like a copper bush pretty much. That'll sit inside here and it'll spin like that. So when this spins, it'll spin on the outer ring gear of it, which will then obviously spin this around, which will spin this one around, which will spin this one around, which will spin that one around. And that's sort of the general gist. As you can tell, I'm not a TAFE teacher, but that's the general gist of it. We want to check all these over, like I said before, possibly throw a bit more grease in there and go from there. All right, now for the fun bit. Oh, actually, we might convert back to head cam. Activate head cam. We've reactivated head cam, people, because I'm getting shit filthy. All right, as you can see in there, I don't know if you can see, we are greasing it. There is plenty of grease in there, but you can never have enough grease, especially when there's lots of moving parts. All right, so we'll get a bit of grease in there. Oh yeah. Slap a couple of bit of grease up in there. I'd suggest anyone with a winch should probably do this anyway, just to minimize the risk of getting any shit in there. Okay, so make sure everything's nice and greased. If you reckon this is too much grease, it's not your car. It's not going on your car, so it's all good. I'd rather over grease this shit than not grease it enough. So we've got to line it all up in there. Now, I am almost 100% sure that we don't need to synchronize these in any way, because it doesn't really matter, because they're going to be moving around, obviously. I could actually probably get one of these dongers and chuck it in there to show you how it works. That's a bit of a TAFE moment right there, eh? Okay, this is brilliant. Okay, so sort of you can see from one turn how much this is turning. It's turning less. Now, I will explain further once we get the next set of planetaries in. Now, to get them back in, you sort of got to wiggle them, move them around. They'll eventually line themselves up in a while, once they're happy. There we go. See, I wasn't lying. Chuck a bit more grease down in there. You're going to get filthy. You should probably wear some gloves if you don't like your hands getting dirty. I'm used to being covered in grease and shit because of my job. All right, next one. So now, look how blue. Okay, so as you can see now, or you might not be able to see, but this top one now is spinning even slower. But this will have triple or some shit the amount of torque that the first one would have. So you can sort of see how they can then make more power. But in saying that, the more torque you have, especially through reductions, the higher speed of your input needs to be. So say for instance, like a reduction gear or a drop box, or like the portal axles, they'll have something similar. Obviously not like a reduction like this, but they'll have a set of gears that'll be sort of spaced out. So you'll lose power to the wheels when you're running a freaking like a portal axle or something, which is sort of not ideal, but most people that do it normally have enough money to throw a big motor in their thing anyway. So there's a spacer here. Make sure you chuck the spacer in. That's to space out the two housings because they're starting to get really big. All right, so once we've got our spacer in, our last drive ring. Now, normally this shouldn't spin. I'm pretty sure it shouldn't be spinning, but it was spinning when we pulled it out, which might possibly be a reason why it's not working, unless it clamps down. But normally, it's been that long since I pulled one of these apart. Okay, so we're going to chuck in this planetary first so it lines in nicely. Then we're going to drop our ring gear in so that we can line it up properly. Boom! That is what we're looking for, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll chuck all of this back on, make sure everything seals nicely. You might chuck a bit of gasket glue on here to make sure everything's happy. Don't really want to get my fingers in there to sort that out. So we're happy. I will chuck this in again to show you now the reduction that's in there. So it might look like it's turning, but she's spinning real slow. But this thing is going to be that tight, you're not going to be able to stop it from turning. So that is reduction gears. I'm not going to chuck this back onto the rig today because it's getting dark, as you can see, and we've got boosty boy things to do. So I'll just reassemble this and Jane can sort that out. So on the inside of this, there is an actual teeth that ring bites into, so we don't need to worry about that moving around. Just gotta make a gasket, chuck all these bad little boys back in, and then our ring, chuck it all back together, and that'll be it. How exciting. Right, so we've done all these up. Don't over tighten them because they are small and they're going into this, so they'll probably snap. This is all together. Make sure your lock ring is in the right spot. Your bloody locating tab on all the bushes and shit. I'm not getting into that. This has all been done. This is all happy. We've checked down in there. If it doesn't work, we're just going to get a new one because these winches are pretty cheap. This is sort of just more so to... I ain't paying them bills. This is mainly just to show how to pull it apart. But hopefully this fixes it. If not, looks like Jaden's going to go buy a new winch. So we'll just... They do take zip. They do take zip? Just put it on the channel's credit card. Haven't told you about that yet, have I? There we go. So we're in like Flynn. So we'll line this up, put our bolts in, and then that's it. I will touch base in another video and see if it's working or not. But we've got to get into doing this mad job over here. So unfortunately, we don't get to see if it actually worked or if I just did nothing.
What
have you done? That is one complete winch overhaul done terribly with terrible instructions by me.
Did you re-grease it or was it just...
Yeah, bro, I re-greased it. So, hope you enjoyed this video. I'm filthy. We've got to go work on something else now. Hit the sub button, leave a comment, and all that other good stuff. I'll put up a video soon of once it's all back in the trailer and we'll go from there. Thank yous. See yous later.